Graeme, can you just fill us in on the situation with Graeme Dorrance? Sorry.
You're right. We initially went down a conservative route on medical advice with his ankle. Unfortunately, that didn't bear fruit as we'd hoped it would, and he's undergone a surgical procedure that will leave us without him for an extended period of time now. We're hopeful it's not too long, but we'll get a better steer on it when he comes back up and we get some more details from the surgeon who performed the operation. It's a sore one for him because he was really hoping that the first course of treatment would get him back. That hasn't, unfortunately, turned out to be the case.
Do you know exactly what the injury is?
He's had repair work done to the lateral side of his ankle. As for the technical parts of it, you'll have to get the physios up here.
How frustrating is it for you as well, not being able to use it?
I have to manage my frustration because the player is really upset. So as frustrated as you are as a manager, you have to go back to those times as a player when you were out injured and realise there's a person in there as well as a player that's hurting and he wants to be out on a pitch and he can't. So we have to take care of him first as a person, and then we'll make sure that the player gets back to the right level.
Will it change your plans for recruitment at all going forward?
It may do, because we were expecting him to be back or hoping for him to be back, and I think that we are a little bit light in that area, but those conversations will be ongoing. This may change the tone of those conversations.
Is Jamie Murty someone you've been looking at, or is it a player that's been talked to?
We've talked about lots of players. It wouldn't be right actually to talk about another club's player, I don't think. I think it's disrespectful and it's not something I'm prepared to do about any player. So as to specific players, no names will come out from our side.
Kenny Miller, what's the latest?
He's been for a scan today. I'm going to go in and see the physio staff. I don't think the radiologist has read the scan yet, but he's been and checked out his hamstring. We're hopeful that it's not as big as it looks. It looked big, but he's got some quite good range, and we're hopeful he's not going to be out for too long. But the end of the year might come a little bit too soon for him, the game at Celtic, so we'll just have our fingers crossed and see how he progresses.
Any other injuries to update on after Wednesday night?
No, we are as you saw us.
It's Ryan Jack comes back in those.
Ryan Jack does come back in. He's been training really well. He's a conscientious guy. He's approached his training really well. It's quite hard actually to get him to stop doing extra. We just want him to be fresh and make sure that he's all right come the game. But he's displayed a magnificent attitude, and he really, hopefully, he'll really give us a lift.
How pleasing is the resilience you've been able to show over the last 4 games, as well as winning the games?
Well, we haven't always hit the heights that we'd like. Going and winning 4 games is a good start. It's a nice step, but it's no more than that. You will certainly not hear the players showing any satisfaction, more a determination to go and extend a good points haul. We want to go and do that. What we've done so far is put a nice marker down, no more than that. 4 games in this club's history isn't a great deal. What we have to do is make sure we reach the right levels of performance, and we will pick up points from that, not be too worried about what people outside our building are saying.
Do you feel you've gone back to basics and just get the basics right and build from there?
When the basics are right, we have threats within the team. So we have to have structures right, we have to have organisation right, but that means nothing if the players don't have a resilience and a spirit within them. And that came to the fore, I thought, against Hibs, because Hibs played really well. They put us under a lot of pressure, and we needed people to stand up. We had some young players in the team who stood up to a tough challenge, and we managed to come away with a win. We weren't at our best, we know that. We need to play better, we also know that. But winning when you're not playing well is always a good mark, I think.
A lot's been made of your tactical nous being able to change it when things were getting tough. Do you take personal satisfaction in that?
I take satisfaction in the players taking on tactical information and executing things at a high degree. Other than that, I just try and facilitate the players playing and put them in a framework that suits their skills. I didn't think we pressed the ball in the wide areas well enough. Too many crosses were coming in, and for me it seemed fairly simple that we needed some height and some defensive ability in there. David fit the bill perfectly. I know I have to bring him into the game against Aberdeen. He fits that bill, and he wasn't going to let anyone down.
Some will say it was Walter Smith-esque. You know Walter well from Scotland, and I think he gave you your Scotland debut. Do you speak to somebody like that to ask advice when you're in charge of this club?
I do. I speak to Walter. Walter was actually in the academy office the other day. His grandsons were here, and We just had sitting and having a chat, and to be perfectly honest, sitting and listening to the maestro talk for an hour isn't long enough. You could sit and listen to him all day, just because of his depth of his knowledge, the depth of his feeling for the club. It's always a privilege and an honour to listen to someone like that. So I think I would be naive and not a little arrogant not to go into that with the most open mind possible.
When the results are going well like this, do you start to think, I could do this job long term?
No, because you're never more than 2 bad results away from being the worst manager in the history of the game. I know that. I'm not getting too carried away. I'm just making sure that we keep the players grounded. We make sure the players get back into recovering properly and getting prepared for a game, because as we know, we have certain standards we need to live up to. We need to go and extend what we've done so far, and as far as I'm concerned, we haven't actually achieved anything of note as yet. We're on a good path, but only at the start of it.
Has the continuity helped though, with everything calming down now, you're being able to get results on the field and having that continuity, has that been a benefit?
I think when you look at the group of players that we have, the players have put everything else extraneous to their performance to the back of their mind and just got on with being really good professionals. So I pass on a lot of credit to them for the way they've approached the last few games. The Aberdeen games were very, very big in their psyche, and they realised that if they do certain things, certain processes well, we put ourselves in a good position to go and actually use our attributes and use our assets to go and actually get points, score goals, and the people who've come into the team have managed to perform and managed to make a difference, which is something I encourage. As I keep on saying it, you need to actually contribute something to the game. Thankfully, the people who have come in have managed to do that.
How do you assess St Johnstone's threat for the weekend?
I think there will be a threat. I think they'll be very, very well organised. We don't know what exact personnel they're going to come with, but we have to be ready for a reaction, because we know that from their press that the manager wants more. So we have to be ready for that. What we have to then do is deal with their level and try and impose ourselves on the game. I thought Hibs imposed themselves on us really well. I would like our players, whilst showing that resilience and that good determination, to show more of their ability in possession. And if we do that, we set ourselves up for a positive result.
One player they won't be bringing with them, I imagine, for Saturday will be Michael O'Halloran. Has there been any discussions yet amongst the guys here about what we're doing with him once he's... We
talked about all the players within the squad and all those guys out on loan. We're looking at all options as to help the squad out.
I mean, given the sort of shortage of numbers you have, might some of the loan guys perhaps come back in January? Might that be an option?
They might, as I've said, those options are being discussed at the moment, and we're looking at which areas within the squad we need numbers. So all players who are out on loan at the moment are under consideration.
Is Michael's form perhaps improved his case for coming back in, do you think?
I know Michael really well. We all know Michael really well. He's an established Premier League performer. So if he was to come back, he would add something to the squad. There's no doubt. What we have to do is make sure that we assess all of our options very, very carefully and make the best decision for the football club going forward.
Looking back at the recent games, is there anything you've identified in the way you've been playing that you can kind of improve on looking ahead to tomorrow's game?
We look at goal threat. Against Hamilton and Dundee, we weren't clinical. Albeit we had lots and lots of chances against Hamilton. We didn't take any of them. In the last couple of games, we've managed to take better percentage shots than we did previously. We've got into better situations and then we've converted. And it's good to see Alfredo Morelos get 2 and 2. Hopefully give him a little bit of confidence and get himself on a little run moving forward. And I think that Josh Windass, as frustrating as he can be at times, he has displayed certain assets that can really get the crowd behind him, get them off their seats and really lift the squad, because if we can harness him properly, he could really do damage to opposition defences in this league.
You spoke about Josh a wee bit after the game on Wednesday. What is it especially that frustrates you about him?
Just basically him. He's a good kid. He, as I said, he possesses some fantastic assets and attributes. We need now to help him make that step into a consistent performer. He shows flashes of ability. We need to help him really elevate his level so that he becomes a standout performer on a regular basis, not just playing fits and starts. And a lot of that comes from him. A lot of that comes from that intrinsic drive in him to elevate his own standard, and we'll do everything we can as a staff to help him realise just how good he can be.
Do you think it's about him finding his feet at a big club like Rangers? I mean, last season he was in and out of the team, didn't always show the consistency that I imagine you guys would be looking for, but now he seems to be what he he's getting there, he's performing at a higher level than he previously had?
I think he's performing at a high level because he's realised the type of player he is as well. He's not a Nico Cranshaw. He's not someone who's going to be playing a 50-yard eye of a needle split ball pass, even though sometimes he thinks he is going to be that guy. We just want to really clarify his role and his attributes and get him to understand how to deploy them on a regular basis, and that's going to be key. I think it's key for any footballer, but particularly with Josh, we want him to have that clarity when he walks onto a football pitch of how to deploy those attributes in a more beneficial nature for the team.
What is your idea of him going forward? What way do you think he should be looking to perform?
I want to be really flippant and say get him as far away from our goal as possible, but I honestly think we need to get him a better understanding of movement, of timing, of his explosiveness, just how good and imposing he can be. But what we have to also do is realise that when he's not delivering those things, he needs to understand he still has a role within the team, within the framework and the structure of the team, to help the team out. Because there are times when any footballer plays selfishly, we have to make sure that all of the players understand this is the time for me, this is the time for the team. And once Josh does realise that, he could really, really push on and elevate his own level.